News. Jane Slater reporting this morning that the Cowboys have offers out to Dak, Zeke, and Amari that would make each a top 5 highest paid player at the respective position. More breaking news now. Josina Anderson is reporting that Ezekiel Elliott actually told the Cowboys back in January that he would not play this season without a new deal. All right, Nick, what is your reaction to the latest update here?
Well, Josina's an excellent reporter, and she usually has very good relationships with the players' side of things, more so than the management side of things. So one could imagine this coming from either Zeke or Zeke's agent, maybe in response to the Jane Slater report, which seemed to come from the Dallas Cowboys side of things. If he told them that in January, that makes Stephen Jones' quotes in May all the more curious. Because Stephen Jones, in May, ostensibly with this information, said, yeah, we know Zeke's contract's going to have to start at Todd Gurley's, but he also said, but we've got a couple years, not a couple months, to get this done. So maybe they thought Zeke was bluffing. Maybe the incident later in May at the not the Vegas, but at the music festival, wherever that was, is playing into it. I don't know. But if Zeke is honest about that, if he's really not going to play, or at least believes he's not going to play this season without a new deal, and he expects that new deal to surpass Todd Gurley's, then you get to the very real possibility that Zeke is not going to be playing for the Dallas Cowboys week 1 against the New York Giants.
I thought that. I took Zeke serious. I didn't take him to be bluffing. And it's behind the scenes. It was rumored that he had told the Dallas Cowboys, and to me, the most significant thing besides telling them was not showing up, because that's when he utilized his leverage. So I'm not going to be there. You can go ahead and prepare without me. Now, they can find him every day. I would take Zeke at his word. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys started week number 1 and Ezekiel Elliott was still somewhere else besides being on the sideline. I believe Amari and Dak's contract. Dak is the priority. He will be signed before they start the season. They will go through the beginning stages with Amari Cooper. They might sign him for the end of the season. I don't expect Amari to get signed before the season, and I don't expect Zeke to be there unless he gets signed.
Well, if Zeke doesn't sign, Dak better jump on that deal that was handed to him, because so much of what Zeke does affects and impacts Dak Prescott on that field.
Well, this is where the Cowboys have to make a very difficult decision, and it is the type of difficult decision that general managers and front offices have to make in any cap sport, which is this year intrinsically more valuable than future years? Meaning the year we're sitting in right now, do we put, because it's here right now, and we know what the team is right now, and we have some certainty, we know what our schedule is, we know what the injuries across the league are at the moment, we have all this information. Is this year a higher priority than the 2021 or the 2024 or any future season? If it is, then you bite the bullet and you pay even if you feel it's a slight overpay. If it's not, then this thing goes to the wall. And then we get to September and Zeke's still in Cabo, and we see if anybody blinks. Because the Cowboys clearly have determined behind the scenes what they think Zeke's fair value is. He disagrees. If at some point they come to an agreement, it's either because he caves, Chris is saying he doesn't think he's going to, or because the Cowboys say, screw it, add a little more, add a couple more million, just get him here.
Just
like bidding on a house. Yep. Like, man, can't lose the house, just more. That's a dangerous way to run business, and it's one of the things the Cowboys have done a good job of getting away from over the last few years as they've gotten their salary cap in order. But they now have a player who's the best player on their team pushing them to the wall on this.
I don't come from the theory you guys come from as far as Dak must sign this deal. I have seen over the last 4 years in the NFL, I have seen quarterbacks, Case Keenum, him get a ginormous salary that he was not worth. I saw Sam Bradford get a salary he wasn't worth. I saw Nick Foles go down to Jacksonville getting over $20 million. So you guys are, I don't know if you're watching what I'm watching, but if Dak was a free agent, Dak would easily get 25 to 30 million. Easy. That's easy. As a free agent, Dak Prescott, Oh, yeah, he's a winner in this league. If Nick Foles can get that, if those other quarterbacks can get plus 20 million, you can believe that Dak, if he was an unrestricted free agent, would be in the upwards of 20 and close to 30 million a year.
But for Dak, it's the question is the opportunity cost. The opportunity cost of this year playing at $1 million. So now we've got to add that lost money there. Next year, not being an unrestricted free agent, being franchise tagged, which would put him in the top 5 for a singular season, having to play those 32 some odd games that you accurately said last segment, you couldn't pay me all the money in the world to go drop back 40 times behind any offensive line. Like, so if Dak were in a position where if he turns this down, in a month he hits open free agency, then I would agree, but that's not where he's at.
Since Dak became the starter in 2016, there's only one quarterback that's won more games. That's Tom Brady. Tom Brady's won 35. In the regular season, Dak has won 32. So that right there would speak for itself around the NFL. So to think that the Cowboys are in the driver's seat and they hold all the cards, no, they're not. They got their best player in Mexico, and he's serious about this holdout. Amari Cooper, who is important, but the least important, he's like, take your time, and Dak. Dak wants his money. Dak does not want to go under center and play a game without that multi-year deal.
Dak's case is exactly what Chris said. He's never missed a game. He's been to the playoffs twice, played in the playoffs twice, won a playoff game. Carson Wentz, same draft class, done none of those things, just got $128 million.
Yep.
Dak's case, from one perspective, is a very compelling one. From the other perspective, it is he has this system around him that allows him to do all those things. Obviously, the Cowboys are arguing the latter. He's arguing the former.
There are far more layers to this that we don't know about.